I need to admit something a little embarrassing right now.
Go on then. I'm listening.
Yesterday, I watched the exact same 30-second video 11 times in a row. And it wasn't because it was funny, it was because someone in that video spoke English so smoothly that I just sat there feeling worse with every single replay.
That's the feeling almost every learner knows, and almost nobody admits.
And here's the part that might actually annoy some of you listening right now. I don't think the advice you've been given about this is correct.
Wait, which advice exactly?
The advice that says, never compare yourself to anyone else. I think that advice is actually wrong, and I think it quietly makes things worse for most learners.
That's a bold thing to say in the first minute of an episode.
It is, and I'm going to defend it because by the end of today, you might completely change how you think about comparison. Not avoid it, just stop doing it in a way that destroys you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Leonardo.
And I'm Emma, and together we bring you real English for real situations at B1 and B2 level, without any of the boring textbook stuff.
Today, we're tackling comparison. And Emma just told me she thinks the usual advice on this topic is wrong. So I'm genuinely curious to see if she can convince me.
Challenge accepted. Stick around because by the end of this episode, I want you to disagree with at least one thing I say, and tell me about it in the comments.
Let's get into it. So tell me exactly what happened in your head while you were watching that video.
She just spoke. There was no searching for words and no hesitation. And somewhere around the 5th second, watching her turned into testing myself instead.
What do you mean by testing yourself?
My brain started asking, could I say this? Do I even know that word? Would I sound this natural? And the answer it gave back was not kind at all.
And what exactly did it say to you?
It said, no, you're not there yet. She's so much better than you, and you're simply too slow.
That's a genuinely harsh voice to hear in your own head.
The strangest part is that she did nothing wrong. She was simply speaking English. But my brain used her fluency as evidence against me instead of something to learn from.
Okay, but here's where I actually disagree with you. Isn't that exactly why people say never compare yourself? Because this is what comparison does to people.
See, that's the trap. You're blaming comparison itself when the actual problem is how I used it.
I'm not sure I follow that distinction yet.
You will in a minute, because this next part is the one thing in this whole episode I most want you to remember. Here's something I keep forgetting. When I watch someone speak well, I only ever see the final result. And that result hides every bit of work behind it.
Especially online, where you get 30 polished seconds, and compare that to your own messy, everyday English.
And that's simply not a fair comparison, because you have no idea how many times they recorded that clip, or whether they wrote notes first, or whether they lived abroad, or had a private teacher, or just had far more chances to speak than you've had this month.
Those would be what you'd call hidden factors, then.
Exactly. And once you stop seeing those hidden factors, you're not really comparing two people anymore. You're comparing your full, messy story to someone else's carefully edited highlight reel.
That's basically comparing your tired morning face to a movie trailer.
Exactly that. And here's my actual disagreement with the never compare yourself advice. If you never look at anyone else's English at all, you also never see what's actually possible. You never notice a useful phrase. You never get inspired.
So you're saying the problem was never the comparison itself?
The problem is comparing a full story to a highlight reel and calling that a fair measurement.
Okay, I'll admit that's a distinction I hadn't really considered before.
Stay with me, because the next part is where this gets genuinely practical, and it's the part I'd actually clip out and send to a friend. I think this is genuinely my biggest problem. I've been measuring my own English with the wrong measuring stick the entire time. I use other people as my measurement, so when someone's better than me, I feel bad, and when someone's worse than me, I feel briefly safe, but neither feeling actually tells me whether I'm improving at all.
Because other people were never a stable measurement to begin with. There's always going to be someone better and someone worse than you.
That's exhausting when you put it that way.
A far healthier measuring stick is your own past self. Progress is usually completely quiet while it's happening. It's rarely one dramatic breakthrough. It's hundreds of small, unnoticed moments stacked on top of each other over time.
Wait, so I could feel completely stuck and still actually be improving underneath that feeling?
Exactly. Because feelings are real, but they aren't always accurate measurements of what's actually happening.
So instead of trusting the feeling blindly, I should be looking for actual evidence. What can I do now that I genuinely couldn't do 6 months ago?
Those are real signs of progress, even if someone else out there is still further ahead of you.
Even then, because their progress simply doesn't cancel out mine. And this is exactly why never compare yourself was always the wrong advice. The right advice is compare yourself to the right thing.
Okay, I think you've actually convinced me on that one.
Good, because next I want to give you 3 tools to actually build this into a habit, and one of them might surprise you.
Let's make this practical. Here are 3 tools you can genuinely start using today.
Only 3? I was mentally preparing myself for at least 10.
3 tools you'll actually use always beat 10 tools you'll abandon by Friday.
Fair, go on then.
Tool number 1. Record a short voice note once a month using the exact same simple topic each time. Something like, "What's difficult for me in English right now?" Just 1 or 2 minutes, and save every recording.
And after a few months, I can listen back and actually hear the real difference for myself.
Tool number 2. Keep an "I can do this now" list, where every small improvement gets written down as it happens.
I'll admit I'm much better at remembering every mistake I've made than remembering my own small wins.
Most learners are exactly the same, which is why you write the wins down on purpose. Your brain won't do that job for you automatically.
And the third tool?
Personal benchmarks. Instead of asking, "Do I sound like that person online?" you ask, "Can I actually do the things I need in my real life?" Like ordering food without rehearsing every word first, or surviving 5 minutes of small talk at work.
So my English doesn't need to sound like anyone else's English. It just needs to serve my own life.
That's the whole system. A monthly voice note, a running wins list, and a few personal benchmarks.
Simple, without being overwhelming. And that's genuinely the answer to the disagreement we open this episode with. Comparison isn't your enemy. An unstable measuring stick is. Let's give everyone something concrete to do this week. Otherwise, you'll nod along and go right back to comparing yourself again in 10 minutes.
Fair point. So, this week's challenge is what we're calling the Compare Better Challenge.
Pick one person whose English you genuinely admire. A creator, a coworker, a classmate, anyone at all. Then, finish 3 sentences. I admire their English because one thing I can learn from them is this week I will practice.
Let's actually try this together.
I admire her English because she connects her ideas so naturally. One thing I can learn from her is how she uses simple connecting phrases like the thing is, or what I mean is. This week, I'll practice using both of those phrases in a short voice note.
That's the entire shift. Moving from she's better than me over to here's my actual next step.
Borrow the habit, don't copy the life.
Say that one again. It deserves to be repeated.
Borrow the habit, don't copy the life. And before we finish, I have one more question for you that I genuinely want an honest answer to.
Quick vocabulary from today. 6 expressions.
To feel behind, meaning feeling like other people are moving faster than you. Watching advanced speakers sometimes makes me feel behind.
Hidden factors. Things that affect a result, even though you can't see them directly. Maybe she had more practice. There are always hidden factors.
A polished result. A smooth and carefully prepared final version of something. Social media usually shows a polished result, not the messy process behind it.
A measuring stick. Something you use to judge your own progress. Other people were never a healthy measuring stick.
A small win. A small success that still shows real progress. Using one new phrase naturally counts as a small win.
And our phrase of the day, borrow the habit, don't copy the life. Meaning, you can learn one useful thing from someone without trying to become them.
And here's the key sentence from today. Their progress does not cancel yours.
Let's say that one more time together.
Their progress does not cancel yours.
So if you often catch yourself comparing your English to everyone else's, remember, someone else's fluency is never proof that you're failing.
Now here's the honest question I promised you. At the start of this episode, I said the never compare yourself advice is wrong. Some of you agreed with me by the end, and some of you probably still think I'm wrong.
So which one is it for you?
If you think comparison is genuinely dangerous and should be avoided completely, comment the word avoid below. If you think comparison is useful when you do it the right way, like we talked about today, comment the word learn below.
No wrong answer here. We actually want to see both sides in the comments, and we'll read them.
And if you want one thing to try this week, finish this sentence in the comments too. One thing I can learn from them is...
Thank you so much for being here with us today. If this episode helped you, follow the show, and we'll see you in the next one.
Step by step.
Step by step.